Ever wondered what it takes to be a vet? Well, wonder no more, because this episode is all about looking after our adorable animals. Who better to teach us a thing or two than one of the new Bondi Vets? Sam meets some cute canines from Storybook Farm. Lorelei and Xavier step inside the House Call Vet's animal ambulance. And we find out your favourite animals.
'85, '86, '87, '88. Sorry guys, 1 second. 89, 90. 90 beats per minute. That's perfect for a lamb your size. Hey guys, I'm Caitlin, and not only am I your Juice TV host, I'm also a vet in training. Today we're going to discover how to look after our furry friends with some of the best vets and animal lovers out there. I've checked the lamb's heart rate, but that's really all I know how to do. Let's find out what else we can do with one of our Bondi Vets.
Hi guys, my name is Addie and this is my brother Finn, and our dog Kenzie, I think she's really sick.
Just look at her. Her eyes are glazed over, her paws are stiff and she's barely even moving.
I think we need to go to the vet.
Excuse me, do you know where I could get some help for my dog?
Wow, that's no good. Your dog's not well?
No.
Well, I'm Alex, I'm a vet. This is Jane and Taylor, they're vet nurses. You've come to the right place. So we're going to help you out with your puppy, but even better, why don't you guys pop one of these on and we'll show you.
Well, that sounds great.
While Addie and Finn scrub up, check out this sneak peek of what our incredible guests do at the Animal Emergency Service.
Now that we looked the part, before we get stuck into it, how do you become a vet?
That's a really good question. Well, you have to study very hard at school and then you go to university for 5 or 6 years and you learn about all different sorts of animals. So not only cats or dogs, but sheep, cattle, horses, everything.
After all that, what is the coolest thing about being a vet?
The coolest part for me about being a vet at the moment is that I get to be one of the Bondi Vets, and that means not only do I get to look after the animals, but I also get to share the stories with the whole world.
Have you ever treated our favourite animals like lambs or pigs, and have you ever treated your favourite animal?
I've treated lots of pigs. In fact, I helped a mummy pig with her babies only a couple of weeks ago. I've never treated a llama though. My favourite animal is horses, so I've treated lots of horses and I love them. They're so beautiful and majestic. They're my favourite.
Well, I think we should start treating Kenzie.
I agree. The first thing we're going to need to do is to give Kenzie a full health check, and that means checking everything right from Kenzie's nose right through to his end of his tail, because he can't tell us what's wrong, so we've got to make sure that we've looked at every part of him and figure out what's going on. Now, to demonstrate, I thought I'd bring in a little helper, and this is my dog Yoshi, and I'm going to show what we're going to do with Yoshi, and then you can follow along with Kenzie. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Do you remember where I said we were going to start? Where?
Doing a full health checkup.
That's right. And what part of his body would we start on?
The nose.
The nose, that's right. So we start at the front and then work all the way right to his fluffy tail, okay? So first thing we do is we have a look at his nose and it's nice and wet. What about Kenzie? Has he got a wet nose? Yeah? Sort of. So next thing we want to do is look at his mouth and his teeth. So we lift up his gum and have a look. And make sure that he's got nice pink gums. You see it's nice and pink there? That's a good sign. And we look at his mouth. Because he's a good boy, he's going to open his mouth for us and make sure that he's happy and comfortable opening his mouth. Kenzie's mouth's kind of half open anyway, isn't it? But he looks quite nice and pink, I think. Now we have some instruments that we use as vets, and do you know what this is called? Stethoscope, that's right. But the most important things that we use when we're examining animals are these, our hands and our eyes. And so every time we touch, we're feeling all over, feeling for any lumps and bumps that shouldn't be there. Even on a really furry, fluffy dog like Yoshi or like Kenzie, you gotta really get your fingers right down to the skin and make sure that you can't feel any lumps or bumps, okay? And then when we move our hands back, we look in his ears. Yoshi's got tiny little ears, but they look really clean. There's nothing coming out of them. He's really comfortable, he doesn't mind me touching them. And we make sure we look at both, and they're all good, okay? So then we move down and we're gonna listen to his chest. And do you know how we listen to the chest?
With a stethoscope?
With the stethoscope, that's right. It's going a little bit fast because I think he's a bit excited to be here. But do you know what a normal heart rate is for a dog? No? Want to give a guess?
90?
Actually, 90 would be a very good heart rate for Yoshi. If his heart rate was 90, that would be completely normal for him, and probably at home it is about 90. Here it's probably about 120, but that's only because he's excited. And when dogs go to the vet, do they get a little bit excited or a bit nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, so their heart rate's usually a little bit higher, so we kind of expect it. And then the next thing we're going to do once we've listened to the chest is we're going to have a feel of his belly, and this is where our hands are really, really good, because you know dogs eat all sorts of weird things. You know what kind of things they eat? Toys, yes. Anything else? Balls, yeah. Food off the bench they're not supposed to have. Yeah, all those sort of things. So we have a feel of the tummy. Is it painful? Is it reacting there? Is it sore? He's pretty good. He doesn't really mind that at all. And it feels like I can't feel any balls in there. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can feel a ball in there if a dog swallowed one. But that all feels good. If we weren't sure, what would be the best way for us to look in there and see if he had one? X-ray, that's right. And so quite often we do take an X-ray. And then we just check that his tail's nice and comfortable, which it is. He's not bothered about me moving that. Have a feel along his back. Make sure he doesn't look like he's painful. I think he's got a pretty good bill of health, hey?
Yep.
Yeah? Now what about Kenzie?
Well, Kenzie's nose is all, looks fine, but it's a bit dry. Her mouth looks good. Her ears are all clean. Can't really feel her stomach.
No.
Don't think she has one. And her tail looks all good.
All good? Excellent.
So what would be your #1 tip for all pet owners?
I think my biggest tip would be when you have a dog or a cat or any pet, they're a real responsibility. So all of the things you've got to do to take care of them, feeding, giving them water, lots of shade, lots of love, taking them for walks, all those sort of things, and making sure that you get them checked up regularly by a vet so they have all their needles and all their prevention for things like ticks and worms and stuff like that. So that's all for the general health check, but Jane has got some extra tips on grooming, because that's the other important part of taking care of your dog.
Hi Addie, hi Finn, my name's Jane and we're here today and we're going to look at grooming our puppy dogs. And I have Seneca here with me today, and you've got Mackenzie, is it? Kenzie, okay. So what we need to do when we're grooming our dogs is we need to use different brushes, and we've got this one here, and that will brush nicely through the fur and it gets all the dead fur out. So, do you want to have a go? You can have a go with your dog doing that one.
What kind of things should we be looking for while we're grooming our dog?
Well, there are a few things we need to look for, and the first thing we need to look for is to make sure they've got no fleas, and fleas look like this. That's a big picture of a flea. And then the other thing we need to look for that can be really quite harmful for them is ticks. And there's a certain type of tick called a paralysis tick, and we need to look and check their fur and to make sure that they don't have any paralysis ticks on them. Would you like me to show you how to do that?
Yes, please.
So what we need to do is we need to go through their fur. It's like giving them a massage, and look for any little things that we might find. And I think I've just found one here. If we look in there, can you see that little one right there?
Yep.
Would you like to check Kenzie, and see if we've got any on there?
So, what do we do if we do find a tick on our dog?
Okay, if you do find a tick on your dog, it's very important that you take them to the vet clinic straight away. And when you get to the vet clinic, the vet will take the tick off, and then they need to identify the tick and find out what type of tick it is. It's the paralysis tick that we really need to watch and make sure they don't get, because if they do, they can become quite sick and have to spend a little bit of time in hospital.
So, our dog's had fleas before. What do you do if a dog gets fleas?
Well, there are many different things that you can do for your dogs when they get fleas. Did your dog do anything particular when it had fleas?
She was scratching herself a lot and rolling around in the grass a lot.
Oh, fleas are super, super itchy, and that's why they do that. They scratch all over and they'll rub on the ground to relieve that itch. But what we need to do is we can use several different things. We can put a little collar on them, like here, like you've got on your puppy dog. And it has some medication in that will kill the fleas. You can also use special shampoos and shampoo them in it. And there are two other things that you can use now. There's chewy tablets that you can give them, so they can have a nice little chewy tablet, and that will kill the fleas. Or you can get a little pipette, and it has a little bit of liquid in. And what you would do with that is you would take your doggy, and under the collar on the back of the neck, you'd put a little drop of this special liquid from your vet, and that would kill all the fleas and make them go away, and your dog would feel a lot happier in 24 hours and stop scratching.
Thanks for sharing all of that with us. I think Kenzie's looking nice and groomed now. What's next?
What's next? Well, I think Taylor's going to show you how to do some bandaging.
Well, the good thing is it doesn't feel like Mackenzie has any broken bones, or any bones at all for that matter.
Ooh.
But what I can do is I can teach you how to maybe bandage Mackenzie in the future if you need to.
That would be great.
All right.
If an animal breaks a bone, do they get a cast like a human?
Similar, we use a lot of bandaging material to make sure the bone is nice and stable so that the animal can't necessarily feel the pain. So the first thing we need is some padding, because this is going to help make the area a bit more comfortable before we put on some of the colourful bandaging material. First we pad it. Then we conform it. And then we put this on at the end to help protect the soft layers. And this is going to help support the bone a little bit more than the previous material that we have put on initially. So it needs to be nice and tight, but not too tight, because that can actually cut off the circulation in the leg. And we're going to go all the way up the leg so that we can support the entire forelimb.
So how long does it take for an animal bone to heal?
So similar to humans, about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how severe the break is. So unfortunately, animals don't like to stay still, which is why we need to keep this really supported, and hopefully it'll heal as little as 6 weeks. All right, so now you guys know how it's done. Do you want to give it a go?
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to be a very good vet.
It does take a lot of practice.
Well, Finn and Addie, I think you've taken everything on board really well, and you'd make great vets.
What would be your final piece of advice for people who want to become a vet?
I think if anyone wants to become a vet, the most important thing is to spend lots of time around all different sorts of animals. And you really get to learn about them, what they like, what they don't like. And yeah, it's just and really work out if that's what's right for you.
Thanks for coming, ladies, and thanks for showing us how to be vets. Kenzie looks like she's back to her normal, happy self.
I'm Finn. This is Addie. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Addie and Finn. It looks like being a vet would be an awesome job. I think nursing might be more my speed. But I do like drawing. Maybe I could be an artist. But I do like reading. I could be an editor. I like heaps of stuff. This seems like a perfect time to find a bit more about me.
She's 17, she oozes cool, and she's the ultimate Bananagrams queen. Your host Caitlin loves listening to music, and her guilty pleasures include watching Riverdale and eating chocolate on Doritos.
I love reading. I absolutely adore how it can transport you to a whole new world. I can't really pick a movie, but I absolutely love the TV show Doctor Who. Exterminate! My most used word would have to be dude. Dude. Dude! One of my favourite memories and moments would have to be muck-up day. It was the last day of school ever for me, and we just got to muck around and have a lot of fun. One of my proudest moments would have to be graduating from high school. Definitely a highlight. If I could have anyone come to my birthday, it would have to be 21 Pilots. They just seem like really genuine, great people, and their music has helped me a lot throughout the years. This would have to be my best impression. Hello, I'm Stitch. Family means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. I'd probably go back in time and talk to past me and give myself some important information, or just learn really and teach about lifing. My favourite song would probably be Alien by East. She opened for Panic at the Disco last year on the Australian Lake, and it was amazing. She had such a vibrant and wonderful vibe, and it was just fantastic. Did I mention I love animals? They're just so cute, and they make me cry. They're really cute. I have a dog called Roxy and a cat called Eddie, and I absolutely adore them. This next story is full of adorable animals, so we better practice these ones. Too much, too cute, can't handle. So now that we're all warmed up, let's go see these guys from Storybook Farm.
Hey, my name's Sam, and today we'll be meeting some dogs that you don't see every day. Someone who does see these dogs every day is LJ from Storybook Farm. What do you do at Storybook Farm?
Storybook Farm's a very special sanctuary for animals like this little guy, Bruce. It's for disabled and special needs animals.
What type of dog is Bruce?
A French Bulldog. And his full name is Bruce James. So when he's in trouble, you hear Bruce James, and if he's good, we just call him Bruce.
Is it hard taking care of all the animals?
Some days. Some days when they all want to play with different toys and run in different directions, it's really hard trying to catch them. Yeah. This little guy can't walk, but he can certainly scoot about like a little rabbit, and he's really fast.
Are there any dogs on your farm?
No, we've actually have donkeys and ponies and horses, crazy goats, really crazy goats. They're always getting on top of our machinery. We've got cats as well, alpacas that like to go swimming. Do you know alpacas like to swim?
No.
Neither did I until I started this. Do you know what an alpaca looks like?
Well, it has a long neck.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and a huge body.
Do you want to know something else that's weird about alpacas?
Yeah.
They smell like popcorn.
They do?
They really do. It's very strange.
Do they spit?
Not all the time. Now, there's two different types of spit as well. There's one where they just spray, and that's talking to each other. And there's one that's really horrible when they spit, and it comes out really, you know, slime?
Yeah.
A bit like that, and darker, and smells horrible. The only time they do that is if you frighten them. And they don't like their faces touched. So if you see one at the show or something, pat them on the neck. and then they won't spit on you.
Do they stay on the farm forever, or they go on adoption?
We have some, when they come in, if they get better, we will send them out for adoption. But most of them, like little Bruce here, he'll stay forever with us.
Oh, okay.
So he'll live in his wheels, and yeah, he cares for them. That's their special home. Bless you!
Can we meet some of other Bruce's friends?
Absolutely.
How many movies has Crumb been in?
The Crumb's been in his first movie just recently.
Oh.
His full name's Crummel, but he's Crumb. But in the movie, he's called Doody, which is a bit of a silly.
What sort of things did he do in the movie?
He actually did a couple of things that look really scary, but they're not. They're actually really funny when you see them filmed. He had to wrestle a pretend snake. And you know, I was more scared of the pretend snake than the real one. I don't know why. But there was a big pretend snake, and we had to wrap it around him, and Crumb had to act scared of it. But the problem was Crumb liked it.
Was it hard to train him?
No, Crumb really likes bacon. So we used every morning we'd go on the movie set, and the people who do all the cooking, make your breakfast, they would make him a dish of bacon, and he was only allowed a tiny bit each time, and Crumb would do anything for bacon.
Yeah.
He likes bacon.
Is he hard to look after?
Sometimes. Sometimes. Crumb argues with people. He likes, you know, when you tell a dog no, he'll actually answer you back. So we'll have that. And he's a bit crazy in his wheels.
Oh.
He keeps running. Instead of running just smooth, he'll run and jump over rocks and crash all the time.
Why is his legs so short?
His legs are actually the same size, it's just they're tucked up. Can you see where they're tucked up here? Yeah. All right. Well, he's actually paralysed, and it's called IVDD, invertebral disc disease. And see this bit here? Feel the lump on his back?
Yeah.
That actually is what broke, and that stops him being able to use his back legs. Doesn't slow him down though, does it? This is Lily Rose, and she's 11.
Oh, okay.
And this one's Andrew Morris, and he's 1.
What kind of personalities do they have?
Lily's very loving. She's like the little mum of the house. She loves cuddles and that. And Andy's like the naughty little brother. He loves to get toys, he hides them, and he snicks them off other people as well.
What's the best thing about working with dogs like this?
The cuddles. That's the best bit. What's your dog's name?
Sunny, and we call him Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy, so a boy dog's a border collie.
Yeah.
What colour?
He's white and black.
Nice. Has he got the lovely long coat?
Yeah, when it's in winter. Yeah.
Yep. And in summer it goes a bit finer. We've got someone sneaking up behind us. Peekaboo Bentley.
What type of dog is Bentley?
He's actually the same. You know, we saw Bruce, the little puppy?
Yeah.
Same sort of breed, French Bulldog, just with a more squishy face.
Oh.
So his name is Bentley James, and the other puppy's called Bruce James. All our French Bulldogs have the surname James. I don't know why, we're just weird like that.
Why is Bentley on the farm?
Bentley had a lot of troubles. He was actually found outside Canberra, which is a long way away, and he couldn't walk before, and he had to have a special operation on his nose and on his throat, and now he's doing much better, as you can see. And he was very skinny. He hadn't been fed in a long time. Bye, Bentley.
What is working with amazing animals taught you?
The thing the dogs have taught me the most is enjoy every day. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's just have fun today. Come on, Lily.
That's being scratched up. Is he?
Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time on Juice TV.
We want you to be a part of Juice TV. We're always on the lookout for hosts, interviewers, behind-the-scenes helpers and mini-producers. You can be any age, you don't have to have any experience. How much easier could it be? To find out the next time we're filming at the hospital, just head to our website, juicedtv.com.au or our Facebook page. For loads of fun to break up your stay in hospital, join the Juice crew. Send us an email at hello@juicetv.com.au or speak to any of the volunteers wearing green shirts throughout the hospital and let them know you want to be involved in the one and only Juice TV.
My favourite animal is a monkey because they're funny.
A cheetah because they run really fast. I love dolphins because they're blue.
My favourite animal is a cow because we have cows on our farm, and we have one named PJ, which stands for pajama pants.
A giraffe because it has spots.
He's really greedy and really fun to pet, and he's really nice.
A leopard because it's pattern.
Leopards because they're fast and they're cute.
My favourite animal is cat because they are pretty cool to look at and just play around and stuff like that. My favourite animal is a fox. I love dogs. Hello, Slick.
Why, hello there, Clevelly.
Cats because they're cute.
A lion because they scratch and fight.
Probably a wolf because they like to work in packs and they've got great determination.
The goblin shark because it can swallow prey whole and poops it whole.
Wait, what?
It's really weird.
Before we get to our next story, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about mine. I've been coming to the hospital since forever ago, and I'm pretty much part of the furniture nowadays. I come in every month to 2 months for about 2 weeks at a time for pulmonary optimization, which is a schmancy way to say, help me manage my health. Cystic fibrosis is where the mucus in the body is thicker and stickier, which means that it can get clogged up and really a lot of bugs and bacteria can get in. I'm okay, but I come into hospital to help me manage and keep me well. This is actually my last ever admission at this hospital because I'm going off to adults and adulting. And I really want to give a massive, huge shout out to all the nurses and CF staff and everyone that has helped me along the way. You've been amazing and helpful and really made me as healthy as I can be. You've helped in ways you can't even imagine, and I don't know where I'd be without you, and thank you. Some of you guys are here for the first time, and some of us come here in an ambulance. Did you know animals have their own ambulance as well? Let's check out the animal ambulance.
Hi guys, I'm Lorelei. I'm Xavier, and we're here at the Queensland Children's Hospital. That might be our special guests arriving in emergency. Now, if you're picturing this, then think again. See, humans aren't the only ones who need emergency care. Yes, that's definitely them.
The House Call Vet offers amazing care for our beloved pets, on wheels and in the clinic. A ride in style right to your door, but today they're pulling up at the hospital.
Hello, it's Xavier. Do you want to come in and check out our animal ambulance?
So does this make you animal paramedics?
I guess kind of. We are usually seeing emergencies, but we're just regular vets and nurses, so we see all kinds of things as well.
So Joel, what kind of call-outs do you get?
It's a really good question, Xavier. We get lots of different types of call-outs, from emergencies to routine vaccinations and ear consults, itchy skin, so there's a lot of variety every day.
How many animals would you rescue a day?
We see around about 30 to 40 animals every day across our 3 vans and in at the clinic, so it keeps us pretty busy, mainly dogs, cats and birds.
So what do you do in the van?
Why don't you come on in and we'll show you. So we usually would start off actually in the pet's house because a lot of them are a lot more comfortable in there, and we might even bring a lot of this equipment into the house and have a look at them there. But some animals, we do bring them out here because we want to do a couple of extra tests or collect some little samples while we're here. So what we might do is we bring a little dog or cat and just pop them up here on this table here. And then in these bags up here is where we keep a lot of the equipment we need for collecting little specimens like a blood sample or some little swabs from their ears as well.
If they are like really sick, do you take them back to a vet?
Yeah, we definitely do. So what we might have to do is, same as with people that are really sick at home, sometimes the paramedics need to start some treatment at the home first before they take them into hospital. So we might do the same as well. We might set them up on, so this here is a little drip pump, so we might have to place a little IV cannula and start them on some fluids. Or we have a little oxygen cylinder in here so we can give them some oxygen to breathe if they need it. And then, yeah, we'd quickly pop them in one of these cages down here. And then even though we're sitting up the front and we can't see them directly, we've got this little camera here, and it has a little TV screen in the front, so we can just keep an eye on them and just make sure they're behaving themselves back here. And we take them straight into the clinic then.
So these are our consulting bags that we take into each consult when we go out to someone's house.
So what have you got in this bag?
What have we got in here? Let's have a look. So this one is our general consulting bag. So it contains the things that we would use in a normal routine sort of consult. So obviously we've got some needles at the back here, sharps container for safety so that when we use the needles we can put them somewhere really safe and no one gets injured. Syringes, which you probably have seen before. A few different sizes of syringes, just depending exactly on what we need. A little diagnostics box so that we can do things like cytology and look at ear samples and lump samples. So we'll have a slide ink that we might use, some oil and sticky tape and that sort of thing so that we can then have a look down the microscope.
We've got 2 birds at home. What kind of stuff would you use for a bird?
It's surprisingly all the same stuff, even though they're so much smaller. We tend to use the same equipment. The stethoscope here is the same stethoscope that we would listen to a dog or cat's heart with. The ophthalmoscope is a unit to look in their eyes, and we would use the same in birds. I guess the main change are the size of syringes and needles and those sorts of things, because obviously you need pretty small ones for little birds.
Do you know what these things hanging on the wall here are, Lorelei?
Yeah, they're cones. My dog had to wear one when he got dissected and he ran into the wolves a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we need to use them for a lot of animals when they're recovering from surgery, so they've got stitches in, or if they have little wounds or marks on their body that we want them to leave alone. We use these Elizabethan collars to create a bit of a barrier so they can't turn around and chew out all the stitches or lick it too much and do a bit of damage to themselves. But you're right, they do end up being a bit of a nuisance while they're wearing them as well.
So what's this thing over here?
This is probably one of our most important pieces of diagnostic equipment that we carry with us, is a microscope. We use this heaps of times every day, just looking at all kinds of different samples. Yeah, one of the most common things we're looking at are little swabs from the ears or from the skin, but we also use it for looking at little samples of blood. So this is the smear. This is the smear that I made before. So what I had to do was I got a little drop of blood using this needle and syringe, and then I just put a drop just there where that big red bit is on the slide, and then I got another slide and just gently spread it out, that's all. Then we have to put it through a special kind of stain which helps to colour the cells different colours so that we can see them very clearly and know what they are. Now that I've washed away all of the extra stain, I'm just left with the same blood smear, but now all of the cells have been stained, and they're stained different colours. Even though that looks like it's all purple, when we look under the microscope you'll see that some cells are going to be really dark blue, some are going to be light pink. They'll be all different sorts of colours, and that's going to help us to tell which cells are which.
Wow, that looks awesome. Can we have a look?
Absolutely. Go for it, guys. I'll turn this around for you.
That little purple dots.
You have a look, Xavier. Most of what you're looking at under there, the cell that you can see most of those are red blood cells. So that's most of what makes up your blood. But then in between those red blood cells, can you see other cells that are darker? And they're like little squiggly sort of lines. So those are white blood cells.
So from looking at this smear, what are you looking for?
Well, I guess mainly what we're looking at on a blood smear is trying to see the numbers of red cells and white cells and another type of cell called platelets. This blood smear looks very, very normal. So it lets us know that the dog we collected this from is looking very healthy at the moment.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming to the hospital. So if my dog gets sick, I can call you guys, right?
Absolutely, Lorelei. You can definitely call us out anytime, but it doesn't have to just be if your dog gets sick. If you want us to come out and just give him a checkup, or he needs to be caught up with his booster vaccinations, or if he does need to have something done in the clinic, just give us a call and we can definitely help you out.
Before we go, do you have any tips for looking after our dogs?
Being up in Brisbane, it's really hot, as we know, so making sure that they have access to shelter and fresh water is really, really important. Making sure that you don't walk them in the middle part of the day where it gets really, really hot is also important. And make sure they're on a good quality tick prevention, because ticks are really bad in Brisbane.
Thanks for the advice. My name's Lorelei. I'm Xavier. These are the Animal Ambulance Vets. Bye!
Bye.
Well, Lenny, you are in tip-top shape. Now, before I go, I would like to impart some very important information that I would go and give 10-year-old me if I had a time machine. And that would be to listen to the staff. They do know what they're talking about and they're here in your best interest. Do your stuff, follow the rules. Everyone's here on your side. Thanks for watching, everyone. It has been fantabulous. For the last time, I'm Caitlin. Bye!
Remember guys, it's so easy to be a part of Juice TV. Whether you want to be a host, help us out behind the scenes with filming, or decide what goes into each episode. Let us know you want to be involved by sending an email to hello@juicetv.com.au or speak to one of the friendly volunteers throughout the hospital in the green shirts. Also head to our website and Facebook page for all the updates about what we're filming at the hospital.